Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All right. We are live on YouTube. It is very windy today. Wow. This is going to be interesting. What a difference a few days makes. This is how windy it is. I hope you can even hear me right now. Man. Whew, jeez. Oh, my. This is certainly going to be fun. Do I cancel my walk? Or do I just go for it? Well, Coach Eli never gives up. Coach Eli fights through anything and everything. A little wind resistance. Burn a few extra calories, right? Only thing I'm worried about is the sound coming through clearly. I hope you folks can all hear me. Let me see here. Oh my. This is not fun. Ow. Oh, I just hate it when it's really, really windy on these walks. It just makes running the show a heck of a lot more difficult. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. I'm having a phenomenal day. It's been a very productive day. I've gotten a lot of things done. Been helping out my family this weekend and doing some family and non-YouTube things. You know, sometimes that happens. You know, you got to step away and take care of the most important things in your life. And then when you have the time, you know, you do the other things like this. Let me see. I think Coach J-Rom's in the house. Let me see here. I hear you. Fine. Stop screaming. I'm not even really trying to scream. It's just the microphone is close. And this microphone picks up very well. It has a high gain built in, and there's no way to change it through the YouTube app, so I gotta try to keep it a little further away from my mouth. And it's harder to do that when it's windy and it's pushing the microphone closer to my mouth, but I'll just try to speak a little bit softer, and that should help out. I mean, here's how windy it is. I mean, look at this. Look at the water. That should give you a pretty good idea. I do the same thing on my headset too when I'm in loud conditions. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Got 10 people here, 7 thumbs up. Thank you so much for being here. Again, hopefully you're all having a great day, and hopefully your weekend has gone well. Today's going to be a real mellow show. And I'm probably only going to do one side of the trail. I have some other plans tonight. And I'm probably only going to do one side of the trail and head on home, get ready, and head on out. Oh, man. But today I wanted to talk about, you know, how to accomplish, how to be successful, how to succeed at anything in life. And it's all in your mindset. And I know this is a vanilla topic. I know this is a topic that, you know, there's no perceived drama involved or anything like that. It's a pretty plain vanilla topic, but it is a very important plain and vanilla topic. And as with many of my other topics, if you folks just apply this principle along with many other principles that I teach, it will change your life. It will turn your life around, and you'll start heading on the right path or right track of success. It's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible. The only things that are impossible are the things that you don't continue trying to accomplish. Because if you keep on trying to accomplish anything and never give up on yourself, you will eventually reach success at whatever you're trying to accomplish. I mean, that's the secret right there. Plain and simple, that is the secret. Right there. I could end this show right now and feel satisfied, but I won't. Throughout this show, if you folks have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding anything, feel free to get those questions, comments, or concerns in the chat. Moderators, J-Rom, and any other moderators that are around from this point on, I really want to moderate this channel when anyone is perceived to be a troll or basically is asking questions that don't make sense, or if people bring up things from the past regarding situations of myself that I've already discussed, please let's just ban them quietly and just move on and not pay any notoriety. If you folks make a mistake, I'll see it and I'll correct it, but I do have faith and I trust my mods. I do have faith in my mods and trust my mods, which is what I'm trying to say. Oh man. Whew, God. Whoa, man. No problem, bro. Well, thank you, J-Rom. My drivers always ask why I'm screaming loud at them, LOL. I hear ya. I hear ya. I'm going to share a story here today. By the way, this is Walking with Purpose Live, episode number 268. I'm not going to do the crazy intro today because this wind is just very distracting. But I'm going to share a story here today. I've shared this in the past. I think maybe back on my former channel I shared this story once. Most of you probably haven't heard it, so I'm going to share this today regarding, how I was struggling to accomplish something I wanted to accomplish in life. And this was when I first started working in the retail management and retail corporate world back in my younger days. And I know I've been talking a lot lately about my lady situation. I'm not going to talk about that here today. There are no new updates, and like I said yesterday, when all is said and done, her and I will do a podcast, anonymous podcast with her to share the story. And I'll tell you folks, you're going to want to tune in to hear this story because it's an incredible story, and it's just how amazing. How do I say it the right way? I'm just proud of how amazing this woman I'm with has not allowed any of the many aspects of life that have tried to derail her she hasn't allowed those aspects to derail her, and she keeps moving forward. It's just an incredible and very inspirational story. And we're going to share it probably down the road, a month or two or so from now, once a lot of the dust settles. Let's just put it that way. There really isn't a whole lot of dust brewing. It's just, it's a figure of speech. But I'm going to share a story here today regarding when I was working. I'll just mention the company. I don't care. I was working for Costco Wholesale. I've shared the company before. I've shared this story mentioning the company before, so I don't really care. Not a big deal. I don't plan on ever going back because I'm an entrepreneur, so it doesn't matter anymore to me who finds out about this, right? But when I first started working when I was 15 and a half, and I was working for a movie theater in high school, and I ended up working at that movie theater until I was 20, and I had been promoted to assistant store manager at the movie theater during my last year. And basically, I was making $5.75 an hour when the minimum wage was, I think it was $4.25. I was making $5.75 an hour. Wow. And while I was working at the movie theater, when I turned 18, I tried to get hired working for Price Club, because back in those days, Price Club and Costco were two separate companies, and then they ended up merging right before I started working for the company. Initially, they were called Price Costco, and now it's just all Costco Wholesale. But I tried to apply for a job at the Redwood City Price Club back then, which is now Costco, and I never got a call back. And then years later, when I turned 20, they were opening up a new Costco that was about 6 miles away from where I'm at, in a town called Foster City, which is next to a city called San Mateo, where YouTube was first started by those college kids. We got some kids and some parents coming on some bicycles, so let's just wait for them to pass on by. Let's just wait for them to pass on by. Coach Eli says, I heard this when I was younger. I think it applies to the topic. Whatever the mind of the man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. Yeah. A lot of great quotes by Napoleon Hill, man. Oh, yeah. A lot of great quotes by that dude. Anyway, so I applied for the job at Costco just as a regular employee, because they were starting people off at $7 an hour. Probation. And then after that, after your probation period, you would go up to $8 an hour. And then work your way up the journeyman pay scale. Let's call it journey person pay scale to be fair to the ladies, but they used to call it a journeyman's pay scale because after a certain amount of hours that you would work, you get a raise. As long as you're doing your job, right? So to make a long story short, I got the job at Costco. And I had a lot of experience, working at the movie theater. I did the box office there. I sold tickets. I would clean the movie theaters. I was an usher. I also did the concession stand. I also was in management and learned about sales and payroll and budgeting and all that type of stuff, right? And inventory and all that kind of stuff, right? This whole family is on bikes in the middle of a windstorm here, and they're like stopped in the middle of the trail. Like, look. Give me a second here, folks. Let me just wait for them to start taking off, because keep running into them is distracting. And I want to be respectful. They have kids. Jesus Christ. I'm going to wait to pass by too. I got time. I'm patient. I'm actually blocking the wind by turning my back. I mean, look at that. It's windy as hell out here today. It feels like Chicago. Windy city. All right. So I got the job at Costco, and Costco they hired me as a front end employee. And on the front end, you have cashiers and you have the assistants to the cashier. And nobody got promoted to cashier right away. Oh my gosh, hold on. This is really, really bad. The wind's just really, really bad today. So there were cashiers and assistants, and I wanted to be a cashier. And after the 90-day probationary period, they were going to promote 20 out of the 40 people they hired in the front end to cashiers, and the other 20 were going to be cashiers, also known as service assistants. Throughout that probationary period, I busted my butt. I always got to work on time. I would stay later if they needed me. I would work overtime. I'd work a 6th day if needed. I had a lot of time on the cash registers, and even being an assistant to the cashiers, and I was good at both. While I was on the cash register, I was fast, accurate. My till would always balance to the penny. And every transaction was handled perfectly. Took a lot of pride in that. And there were other employees that would come to work late. You know, they weren't dressed as nice. They weren't as accurate on the register. They didn't work as hard as I did. And guess what happened? When it came time to get promoted to cashier, I got passed up primarily by people that weren't working as hard as I was, weren't as accurate as I was, didn't dress as nice as I did or take care of themselves as well as I did. And it really, really bummed me out. It really, really bummed me out. It was my first experience. Let me get back to me over here. It was my first experience dealing with the BS politics in the corporate world. First time it happened to me, I had no clue, no idea what was really going on. But as time went on, I sucked it up. I was a little disappointed that I didn't get the cashier promotion. The manager said, hey, keep your head up. You're doing great. Your time will come very soon. Just keep pushing forward. All right. So, another 6 months went by. A few other people got promoted to cashier that didn't get promoted initially, that also weren't as qualified as I was. And I kept on getting bummed out. I was bummed out. Oh my God. So this family, again, they're having issues with their bicycles. They have their kids on bikes in the middle of a windstorm here, and the one bike is down. I'm gonna wait here a second. I think those ladies that were coming were with these guys and their kids. And these people are literally just like on this trail like they own it. They don't realize there are other people that use this trail. Especially myself with a camera here, it's like I'm trying to be respectful and keep them off the camera, right? Anyway, so I got passed up again. And at this point, the second time around, yeah, I was disappointed, but I was becoming more and more disappointed. Another 6 months went by. A few other people got promoted to cashier that were less qualified than I was, less accurate than myself. And now we're looking at about a year and 3 months to almost a year and a half of being employed at Costco, busting my butt, being accurate, being dependable, doing everything right. At this point, I started to really realize that, to get promoted in the corporate world, it's not really about what you know, it's about who you know. It's about, your relationship with the management and the hiring managers and the promoting managers. And I've always been the kind of guy that I've always earned everything in my life. I have never, ever, ever taken advantage of someone's friendship and asked them to hook me up with a job that I wasn't qualified just to make more money or to get that type of job. I've always earned everything. I was raised to work for everything and earn everything. But I was quickly beginning to see that the corporate world and this world in general is not really a fair place in the way things are done. And I quickly learned that, hey, in order to survive and move ahead, you have to learn to play the game, even if you don't like the game. I've never been one for the game at all, period. I'm going to pull over the side here in a second and reset the stream because I think the chat was frozen. A few months later, a year and a half into it, actually, I think it was closer to 2 years. I got, whoa, give me a second here. I finally got promoted. I think it was almost 2 years after I got hired at Costco. But that wasn't the only thing. Before that time, before they promoted me to cashier, they would use me as a cashier, right? They would use me as a cashier, and they would work me 40 to 48 hours per week. And the rule at Costco was if you work If you work more than 32 hours a week on average for 8 weeks, they have to promote you to full time, right? I was still considered part time at that point. I was also trying to get full time hours. They would work me 40 to 48 hours for 7 weeks, and then they would work me 30 hours the 8th week on purpose, so they didn't have to forcefully promote me to full time and then, cashier as well. I started to see, the games played in the corporate world and what it takes to truly get promoted. Again, it's more about who you know, not what you know. So, one key to this story here, folks, is that if you're a likable person, even if you don't know the job that well, and you're a likable person that's coachable and trainable, you're going to get the job over someone that's more qualified that isn't as likable or coachable or trainable. And I was a good guy. I wasn't a bad guy. I wasn't a mean guy or anything. But I also had to realize that a lot of the people that were hired by the management initially were their friends in real life, and that they were going to promote them first no matter what. You have to also learn to deal with that. It's BS, it's politics, but hey, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Go and complain about that and get fired for whining and complaining and being insubordinate? Wow. Can you folks even hear me? I don't even know if you can hear me. The wind has been really, really strong today. Very strong. I'll be right back. I'm gonna hop off the air here for a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're still good. So I finally got promoted. My next step was to get promoted to supervisor and work my way up to management. And, when I became a full-time cashier, I would work 40 to 48 hours a week. Whenever they needed me to work overtime, I would work different departments because I knew how to sell technology. I'd work the tech department. They call it the sales department. I'd work the bakery at times. I'd work the freezer at times. I'd do stocking at times. If they needed me to come in early in the morning, I would do stocking instead of cashiering. Even though stocking is in a lower classification for pay, I'd still get paid my cashier wage. I get paid a service clerk rate even when I worked a service assistant type of position. I did everything for this company at their beck and call with a smile and happy, right? I deserved the next supervisor position, at least one of the next few. But what did they do? They kept on promoting people that were far less qualified. Why? Because those supervisors, the supervisors that were already supervisors, were banging the cashiers, whether they were male or female. There was always some BS political game there, and that's why these people got promoted into a supervisor position over someone like me that was more qualified. Completely unfair, completely BS, completely political, right? And the same thing kept happening for the next 2 years. I kept getting passed up by people that were far less qualified because they were either sleeping with management or other supervisors, or they had a very close friendship outside of the company and the business. I talked with my general manager. I talked with other managers, the assistant general managers, and they decided to give me a lateral move into the vault. In the vault, you would all the cashiers would send the cash and checks through these bullets. And they get sent from the register through these tubes and bullets. The tubes had air, and they'd send the bullets into the vault. And I would encode and calculate the checks and count the cash. And I did that kind of thing. I did the administrative, vault work for my final year at Costco. That was going to be the position where they put me there because they were going to, give me the next available supervisor position and start pushing me through into management. Well, after doing that for a year, they kept promoting other people over me to supervisors that were far less qualified. And at that point, I was about to flip my lid. I had enough. And at that point, I was starting to be a little more vocal about it, because I think anyone at that point would be a little more vocal about it, right? And another manager, there was a nice lady that I was friends with. She was the food court manager. She wanted to keep moving up in the company, and they kept screwing her over. So she ended up leaving the company. And before she left, she told me she's going to Office Depot and she could help me get a job there, starting off at the same amount of money I'm making at Costco, but as a supervisor. And she would quickly help me, work my way up to assistant management. And you have to understand, folks, when you've been working for a company, I worked for Costco for 5.5 years. Okay? I didn't want to leave Costco. It's a great company. Now, by this point, I would have left any job I was at because I was destined to become an entrepreneur. But back then, I didn't want to leave Costco. There's a lot of emotional attachment when you've worked a job like that. I had built up a very nice 401k. I was able to roll it over. I had built up a lot of vacation time, sick time. I was at the top of the pay scale. I had the greatest benefits and all that. I had everything, right? I was all set. But because they kept passing me up, and I didn't want to hold myself back, I ended up leaving. I made the decision to leave rather than sit there and continue being passed up and being taken for granted, right? Sometimes that happens, right? I'm not saying all companies are like that. If you get the right management and the right people that are fair and honest and equal, right? Then they typically do the right thing and promote the right people. But in many cases, you're going to have situations like these where, because of favoritism, you're getting passed up when you're more qualified. And in essence, it's holding you back from moving forward. So you can't let anyone hold you back in your life. Sometimes you have to make a decision to leave where you're at to give yourself a shot at a better opportunity, and that's what I did. And what ended up happening after that was I got hired as a customer service manager and met some great managers. One of the assistant managers I was working at one of the Office Depot stores was about to get his own store, and he really liked me. And when he got his own store, he asked me to come over and transfer to his store. And he would put me through the assistant manager program, within 6 months. I went to his store, And they had created a program back then called a fourth key carrier, meaning a supervisor with keys that was like an assistant manager, but at the level right below an assistant manager. That position was already taken. But my store manager said, you're still next in line for assistant manager. Well, what happened? The fourth key carrier that was there ended up getting caught for internal theft and was arrested and fired. And that same day, that store manager that used to be my assistant manager at the former store came out and said, yep, George's fired. Here you go. And I knew what it was, but I'm like, what's this? Congratulations, you've been promoted to the fourth key carrier. Now you can help us open and close the store. And you're even one step closer to being assistant manager. I felt appreciated. I felt loved, appreciated, respected. He actually was probably my most favorite store manager I ever worked for. He was a really good guy. He was a good worker too. That guy's an assistant manager, could bust out freight and stock shelves and do planogramming and putting out labels like faster than anyone. He was even faster than me, and I was pretty good at it myself. Give me a second. These women are coming by. So I really started to realize that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. But here's the thing, for me, not only did I get lucky to find someone that really liked me, I was a hard worker and did my job and earned my promotions. And that's what he respected about me, this store manager. And I respected him in the same way. And after I got promoted, he had told me 6 months. And he kept his promise. He said, dude, help me get this store ready. We had this new remodel. All right, we should be back. The wind has kind of died down a little bit. In America, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I think it's that way everywhere, Sifu Smo. Sifu Smo says you never bang the employer, never mix business with pleasure. I agree. Hey, Sifu Smo, Dion, how you doing, bro? Give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry I got cut off. So like I was saying, I'll get to the chat in a second. I busted my butt. We had this major remodel happening at all Office Depot stores back then. And I told my boss, whatever, right? I said, I'll work whatever hours it takes. It doesn't matter. He goes, man, I appreciate that, but we don't have too many overtime hours for payroll. I said, boss, you're taking care of me. I'm going to take care of you. And my boss knew what I was going to do because he knew how much I respected him. I was an hourly employee. And give me a second here. All right. Thankfully, this entire family is now going on the other side of this trail, and I have a little peace and quiet, man. It's like this family of like 8, like just hogging up the whole trail, and they have kids on bikes. It's windy, and they keep falling, and oh man, it's nice that now I don't have to deal with that. But my boss said, don't do what I think you're going to do, man. I said, boss, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this done for you before I go. He said, okay, well, you know what I think. Well, he knew I was going to work off the clock, work some overtime off the clock. What I ended up doing was, there was enough budget for me to get paid about 10 hours of overtime. And I did put in for that 10 hours of overtime, 40 hours plus 10. But I ended up working 100 to 120 hours each one of those weeks. I practically lived at that location. And there was another supervisor that was working as many hours as myself off the clock because we respected this guy. Now, granted, it's unlawful to work off the clock. You can get fired for that, right? The company can get sued for that, right? But you want to know what? We didn't care. We weren't going to say anything because we respected the guy. And when I feel respected, when somebody really respects and appreciates my work, I will give you the shirt off my back. I'll give you my blood, sweat, and tears. I would have never ever done that for Costco the way they were treating me, but for this guy, I was willing to give up my life for a few months to make his store look as good as possible with that remodel and make his life as easy as possible because he was taking care of me too. That store manager, I was the fourth key carrier before I got promoted to assistant. He would have weekly meetings with his assistant managers. And, he would leave me in charge of the store by myself. And, he would come in and say, all right, dude, we're going to be gone an hour. Can you handle things here for an hour? I'm like, dude, I got this. You guys need more than an hour. Take half a day and get things done. And so they would go out, and because they trusted me, I ran the store like a store manager as a fourth key carrier, as a supervisor key carrier, because I had that much respect for him, and that's how much I loved my job. And that's how well I learned the business, because I really enjoyed what I was doing. And they came back 4 hours later and got so much done. And they were grateful and thankful for that. The next day, my store manager and the assistants on the company, they bought the entire store a big pizza fiesta lunch because we had helped them out. That's the right way to run a business. That's the right way to run a team, right? I will never forget that experience. Now, I worked for many other companies besides, Office Depot, right? And I had some other experiences at Office Depot, that didn't go as well. To be quite honest with you, most other experiences always ended up not going well at the end, because in the end, when you're working a job like that, you have to understand that you're replaceable and you're disposable. And all it takes is getting the wrong district manager, the wrong store manager, the wrong superior, right? And it just ruins everything, right? The secret to accomplishing anything in life, folks, the secret is just being a good person. The secret is being patient and being humble and keeping your mouth shut and never complaining. Yes, I did complain at times, but even once I learned not to complain when things weren't going right, I handle it differently. If I wasn't happy at a job and there was BS going on, I wouldn't complain. I would either try to transfer out of that store, and if that didn't happen, I would put my resume out there and get another job. And then every time I get another job, they would hire me with more money, because back in those days, there was a huge demand of well-qualified retail assistant managers and store managers and district managers. But the secret to accomplishing anything in life and eventually reaching success at anything in life is to keep a positive attitude And don't let anything or anyone get to you. And don't complain. Just be happy with what you've got. And keep working hard. And if you're working hard for someone, like I said, and they don't promote you, and they don't reward you in the way that you feel you deserve to be rewarded, or in the way that they would normally reward someone else, then just go somewhere else where you'll be more appreciated. Resign with dignity, resign with pride, and resign in a respectful way. Never create a scene. Walk away with humility. Be humble about it. Man, it is windy as heck. I'm going to sit down here for a second. I'm going to go off the air and I'll be right back, folks. We are at 46 minutes. All right, we're back. We're back. No new messages. No problem. Oh, by the way, Dion, I saw your posting saying that you and your lady were in San Francisco yesterday. And my lady actually saw that and told me. And I said, he's not in San Francisco. If he was in San Francisco, he would have let me know. He's just trying to screw around with some people that have been trolling him for years. You know, it's funny. It's like people now use their community tab and they say, oh, yeah, I'm in the Bay Area. I'm here, you know, I'm in the area where my worst enemy is at. I'm going to come and show up and, you know, run a live stream in front of your house or your apartment or wherever, right? It was funny, Dion. The one guy that you've been beefing back and forth with in the martial arts community was saying, I'm in South San Francisco on these streets. I read that and I'm like, I know exactly where that's at because I literally live 30 minutes south of San Francisco and about 25 minutes south of South San Francisco. So SSF, South San Francisco, is right before San Francisco. As I go north from Redwood City to get up to the city. We call San Francisco the city. That's what we call it. We call it the city by the bay, right? And I'm by the bay right now too, and the bay is creating this windstorm. Whew, man. I wonder if my lady's watching. She's probably like saying, baby, don't get knocked out there, or knocked down. Nah, I'll be fine. It's all good. I'm only going to do this half of the trail today because I've gotten enough wind resistance. Plus, I've got some other things to do tonight. And I got to get home and get ready and all that. You know, the one thing that I can't stand the most, the one thing I can never stand and still can't stand the most is other people playing dirty and trying to take out good people just so they can get promoted ahead of you when they don't deserve it, right? People playing dirty to get ahead. And the funny thing is, the people that play dirty seem to always get ahead quicker. And the people that deserve the promotions seem to always be held back. You know, and I could just never understand that. I can never understand that, you know. I've never felt right about, you know, trying to do anything shady to get ahead in life, you know, especially like in the corporate world, you know. I've seen a lot of people blackmail their way to the top and stuff, and it's like, you know, how does that make you feel good about yourself? You haven't earned that promotion. And how long do these people last in those positions that they blackmail their way into them, right? Right? And that's why, after 17, almost 18 years of working in retail and retail management and retail corporate, or working for someone else, that's when I decided to go self-employed. And I've got so many more stories to share regarding my experience working in retail management and retail in general, retail corporate. And stories I've never shared before publicly with anyone. Stories about things that I went through. Stories I may have shared before and may have left a few things out. But at this point, and especially with what my lady has been experiencing, I think it's time to let those stories out completely. But I'm not going to do that here today. I'm going to do that when my lady and I talk and have that probably going to be a 3-part interview. 1 hour per part, so 3 hours total. We're probably going to end up doing that in the next few months or so, once the dust settles. And I'll say this. Everything that I've learned working in that industry is going to make total sense regarding the outcome of my lady's situation. And we'll just share the story at that point. You folks will see what we're talking about. People will really get a chance to see what I'm capable of doing, even in the business world, and how I can help people. And at the same time, you're going to just hear this amazing story from my lady regarding what she went through and how long she went through it and how she was able to turn it around. I look forward to sharing it over the next few months. I'm going to go off the air for a second to reset the chat. I'll be right back. Actually, let me wait a second here because I'm going to use the restroom here in a second. Actually, I don't need to. Be right back. All right. So I haven't heard back from Sifu Smo. No big deal. It's all good. No big deal. I want to take this opportunity again here today to put this out there like I did yesterday. I'm willing to help any man or woman that is working for somebody else, whether it be a corporate job or a private party or whatever, and you feel that you're being mistreated, you feel that you're being paid unfairly, okay? You feel like you're being held back from promotion, right? You just feel like you're completely being taken advantage of by your employer. I'm going to offer all of you a free 15-minute phone call, and I will listen to your situation and I will guide you in the right direction on what to do to turn it around. I'm so well versed in this situation, or in these situations, I can dissect your situation by you sharing your quick story. And one of two things are going to happen. There are some things I'll have you do that will turn things around for your current employer, And if those things don't work, then I will suggest for you to find other employment and how to go about getting that other employment and how to do it in a way where it doesn't look like you were fired or you quit for unhappy reasons. There's a right and a wrong way to handle these transitions, and I want to help as many of you as possible if you're going through this. Turn this around. Again, I'm willing to help anyone in this situation specifically. If you're working for somebody else and you're in an unfair work situation, hostile work environment, gender discrimination, racial discrimination, whatever, I'm willing to help you folks turn this around free of charge in a free 15-minute phone call with me. Just go in the description and email me at Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. That's Coach Eli at coach.eliasmelas.com. In order to verify that you are real, you will have to have a Facebook account and also connect with me on Facebook Messenger. I will also have to I will also be looking to verify how long your Facebook profile's been around, because I know there are trolls out there that are looking to waste my time, and I'm not looking to waste time. That's the way I can verify you are real. Then we connect on Facebook Messenger and we can have our phone call there and maybe a few other quick follow-ups after that at no cost to help you work through it. And if you need more help than the 15 minutes and the few quick follow-ups, my rates are very, very reasonable. Go to my website at coach@eliasmelas.com. And for half an hour, I believe it's still $39. Actually, I think it's $49. Is it $39 or $49? I cannot remember. I think it's $49. It's $49 for a half an hour and $79 for an hour. Give me a second here. All right, folks, please smash the thumbs up, whether you're here live or on the replay. Please like, share this out, share it on your community tabs if you have one, on YouTube. Share it on social media. Please also, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. You need to be subscribed to this channel to be able to chat in my live stream chats or on my premiere video chats. Once you subscribe, you can immediately start chatting. There is no time limit. Or there's no time requirement, which is what I'm trying to say, before you can chat once you subscribe. I've removed that. You can chat immediately. As long as you follow my rules, which will pop up at the top of the live stream chat the first time you come on in. Follow those rules and you'll never get banned. It's as simple as that. I tell you folks, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit exhausted. I've been not only helping out my family on some things, I've been helping out some other people with things, and I really care about what I do to help people. Each and every person I help, I really care about their specific situations, because more than likely, if I'm helping you with something, it's because I have personally experienced it. I have been through it. I have felt pain from it. And I know how it made me feel going through it and what it took to turn it around and how much work it took to turn it around. And here's the thing, when I help people turn things around that I once went through, while I'm helping them, I relive that pain, and I can feel your pain, and I know exactly what you're going through. And it does hit me. It does hit me because I really care about what I do. This is not just for the money. I really care about helping people turn their lives around or stop being taken advantage of, right? Most people that come to me have been taken advantage of by, one person or another, or in one way or another, either in relationships or by employers. Two most common things that people come to me for are A, being taken advantage of in the relationship and how to move past that and how to not let it happen in the future, and B, I'm in a shitty work environment, shitty work situation, hostile work environment, right? I've experienced both those aspects many times. And I know how you're feeling, and I know what it takes to turn it around. Let me help you turn it around. There's not a whole lot of people chatting here. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes and see if anyone else chats. And if not, I'm going to wrap up the show early today. I've pretty much said everything that needs to be said. But I'll wait around a few minutes to see if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns. And if not, like I said, we'll go off the air and we'll be back tomorrow with another topic. And if there's a topic that you would like for me to discuss, please email me, Coach Eli at coacheli.com. The link's below in the description. And I'll tackle it as soon as possible. In many cases, it could be that same day or that same week. I'm going to go off the air one more time here and check out the chat one more time before we go off the air. We are at 63 minutes, minus a minute, 62, about an hour and 2 minutes. Be right back. All right, no new messages in the chat. We're back live, folks. Going to start wrapping things up. I want to thank you all for taking the time to view this show here today, whether you're here live or on the replay. Thank you to Sifu Smo for being here, and thank you to Coach J-Ron for being here earlier, and anyone else watching behind the scenes. I'll be back for one, more than likely two shows tomorrow. As we exit here, we can exit with a bang, with a beautiful plane. Wow. Give me a second. Beautiful. People are for a Walking with Purpose stream at least, and more than likely the live stream I was going to do the other night on Friday. That being said, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have yourselves a great one, and I'll see you all next time. And as always, take care and be good to each other.